As you can see, these two dogs right here, they look innocent and they look very powerful. And if I ask 100 people, maybe 1,000 people today, and I ask them to say, what type of dog is this? They'll say, oh, this is a pit bull. And some will say it's a blue nose, some will say it's this, some will say it's that. And here is a couple of facts. These dogs are absolutely mutts. They're not real pit bulls. And whenever you see the news of the dogs killing children, killing people, are going to be some of these dogs. And I say some of these dogs is because they are totally inconsistent. These dogs are not real pit bulls. The American Pit Bull Terrier became illegal to be bred in 1976 because of dog fighting. But those dogs that they say have a black and dark past, during those times of the 1800s, the early 1900s, they had a tremendous amount of great people in society, from policemen to lawyers to doctors to the elites, having those dogs, and what it was normal for them back then to have dogs in combat. They discovered that the dogs were the best pets, and they discovered that the best pets made the best fighting dogs. So they developed both of them, and I use the word develop. You're going to be listening to the words develop from me, which nobody uses. They like to use the word bloodlines. They like to use other like DNA and so forth, which they want to exclude the word development. And the problem here is the lack of development and the wrong development. When you develop a dog, you create something that's related to epigenetics and you deform the dog or you build the dog. That's easy and simple like that. You can find a lot of my videos talking about this and try to bring a light to people around these topics. So when you see these dogs like this, you're going to find some people that put, pink ribbons around them and dress them. So you're going to have a litter of puppies that's so inconsistent because they are bred the wrong way. For some time, and I remember the people that were in the dogs back in 1990, back in the 1990s, they used to say, punish the deed and not the breed. It was the most moronic type of campaign to get into, because what they did is they turn back around and they say those guys that were fighting the dogs create the bad dogs. That's what the message they were saying. And they say punish the people that fight the dogs and don't punish the breed. And they call these dogs that were developed by common guys in the neighborhood that have passion, that are fanciers of some dogs. And those guys will mix these dogs with other dogs. They have no idea how to build a breed. They have no idea how to eliminate bad individuals, bad apples from a particular breed program. And they created a very dangerous dog called AKA Pitbulls, they stole the name of the real dog, which is the real nanny dog. When the dogs were in the hands, and I'm not promoting, it was legal in those times, so I'm not promoting, it was legal, policemen used to do it. But in those times, those dogs were family dogs, because the part of a process of selection and developing those dogs was done with dogs that were actually part of society. And as times changed and society changed, they decided that they didn't want to have the blood sports and the dog fighting, as well as they decided with the roosters. They decided they didn't want to have the roosters, the fight of the roosters, but Mexico still got them. And the people in Mexico, the president of Mexico is fighting roosters. He's not a bad guy. And the same thing goes to the Philippines. So, you can make an audit to that if you want in the past, but you cannot blame the past. You don't have the right to go back and say, my great-grandfather was a scumbag because he was doing something that today you don't tolerate. Remember, your great-grandfather did not even think that his DNA, which is you, will be related to people and men that want to cut their genitals and become women. It was inconceivable. They wouldn't have your father if that was the case, because they were very proud men and they were very strong type of men. And women at those times, they love a man that was hard. So it's a broad topic that has to do with masculinity. The American Pit Bull Terrier is a dog of power, competition, but it's also, the beautiful thing of it is the temperament. The dog is called the dog of velvet and steel because he can be a very competitive animal, but he also knows how to adjust himself and become a super dog of velvet, very soft with ladies, very soft with children. If you look at the dogs of Chico Lopez for the last 33 years, those dogs, those famous dogs, are all on videos. Mechanic Buck already passed away, and he's on videos with children, with strangers, with other dogs, behaving very well. His son Atos from Busha, which was born in Ukraine, bred in Brazil, born in Ukraine, that dog was hit by the Russian army. And he don't have any bad feelings to other people, other dogs, but yet he's a grand champion. He's a great dog, and he grazes along with children, and he produces dogs that have amazing temperaments as well. So the existence of the nanny dog, Atos, the nanny dog, Mechanic Buck, the nanny dog, the mother of Mechanic Buck, the nanny dog, Awesome Buck, the nanny dog, Cheyenne, it debunks every argument that the real American Pitbull Terrier, the real quality dog that's connected to the 1800s, is a bad dog and he was never a nanny dog. He absolutely debunked it. That argument goes to the trash. But what we can have a conversation today is that people destroy everything. That society destroys everything. And yes, there's bad genetics, and yes, there's bad development. And so you have guys on one end that wants to have dogs that attack other people. They call it protection, and they breed those dogs through those experiences and epigenetics. And the puppies that dog will have will be aggressive towards people. That's why I don't support the idea of having a dog to be trained to protect the human and become aggressive. The American Pitbull Terrier by itself protects the family in a manner that is not aggressive towards people, but if there is danger, he will protect you against a bear if he has to. It is an amazing animal. But they stole the name. They slap it on these monsters, and these monsters are attacking kids and hurting children. And they are using the name of the American Pitbull Terrier, but they are imposters. So you have someone that was born in 1990, 1995, year 2000, and now is 22 years old. They never saw a real American Pitbull Terrier. They only saw the fakes. They saw the blue nose, which is a gray dog with a black nose, the blue nose, the blue Pitbull fake, the XL fake, the double X fake, the giant from Netflix fake, all those fake dogs, and they call them Pitbulls. And they're going to have people on one end and one aisle. They're going to say, oh, my dog can never hurt. It's how you raise them. It has nothing to do with genetics. Of course, it has something to do with genetics. And more importantly, has to do with selection, and it has to do with development. Once you took the great breeder from the equation and you only leave genetics, you have a disaster. Once you take the great breeder and replace it for the common guy in the neighborhood that wants to be a hobby breeder, that wants to have a couple of bucks, a hustler, backyard breeder, the guy, that's the destruction of the breed. So I'm absolutely, against these monsters hurting people. And for those people that have cousins and brothers of the same monsters that are hurting people, at least you need to learn the facts so you know that you need to castrate your dog and don't breed them. All of you guys need to stop breeding those monsters and allow the people that know how to create and develop great dogs to exist and create the beautiful dogs that one day were America's pride and they were the nanny dogs. Just like Atos is a nanny dog, just like Shega the Great is a nanny dog, just like Champion Mayweather is a nanny dog. Those dogs are absolutely amazing. My name is Chico Lopez. I have 33 years of experience at a super high volume in time, in hours, in passion, giving seminars around the world, teaching people the difference between the fake Pitbull, the real Pitbull. And those guys that tell you they have dogs with pedigrees, that doesn't mean nothing. Where that dog came from, who bred that dog, who made the breeding decisions, who's the brand of the dog is the man that make the breeding. If the man is worth nothing in terms of quality of creation, in terms of pedigree of creation, he created, he's the man that make these 20, 30, 50, 100, 200 amazing dogs. If you have a common guy that has just a randomly breeder, that guy is a criminal. He should not be breeding dogs. God bless you. My name is Chico Lopez, and I wish the best for you. And if you love my dogs, I love you too.